This feels wrong. Earlier this year, I took the college football playoff and made it into March Madness. Today, we hop into Hoopland to do the opposite and turn March Madness into the college football playoff. Let me explain. The field is shrunk down from 68 to 12. The top 4 conference champions all get buys to the Elite 8, and the field is filled out from there. The rankings I used are from Jeff Borzello and ESPN College Basketball Insider, since you don't typically get a 1 through 68 rankings reveal for the NCAA Tournament. Alright, enough yapping. Let's meet our teams for the college basketball playoff. Already in the Elite 8 is number 1 overall seed SEC champion Auburn, number 2 ACC champion Duke, number 3 Big 12 champion Houston, and the champions of the Big East, the 4 seed St. John's. In the 5-12 matchup, we have Florida versus Wisconsin. We have Tennessee versus Kentucky in the 6 versus 11 matchup. The 7-10 battle will be between Iowa State and Alabama. 8 versus 9 will be Michigan State versus Texas Tech. We're going to kick things off with the 6-11 matchup as the number 6 seed in our tournament, the Tennessee Volunteers, square off against conference rival Kentucky. Who comes out on top? Let's hop in. With 2:10 to play here in the second half, Kentucky, who has been down pretty much all of this game, looking to take the lead here as the ball comes free. Tennessee gets the ball back, and they're going to try to take the lead back here. Can they do it? Final 2 minutes, Tennessee with the ball. The game is tied between them and Kentucky, and there it is. The hook shot is good, and Tennessee takes the lead 59-57 with 1:45 to play. Oh, the alley-oop slam. Threw it down with authority. Oh, wide open down in the lane, and a dunk on the other end. Tennessee, leaders once again. 1 minute to play. Tennessee up by 4 in this one, as Kentucky got this game tied, but has not done much since then. As now, after that, laying into 6-point lead, and it looks like the Vols are going to advance to the second round. 5 seconds left for Kentucky. Ball goes out of bounds. And that pretty much sums up the night for the Kentucky Wildcats. There's the buzzer, and another shot is good. And the final shot from the summit is no good. And Tennessee gets the win 69-61. Chaz Lanier is your player of the game, 21 points. He hit 3 threes, had 8 rebounds as well. A great game by him as the Vols advance to play Houston. We will close out the right side of the bracket by having the 7-10 matchup next. That game will see the 7-seeded Alabama Crimson Tide take on the 10th-seeded Iowa State Cyclones. Let's go. Final couple of minutes between Iowa State and Alabama, and the Cyclones are just kind of running away with this in the end. They are up by 9, 66-57 here, as we are coming up to the final 90 seconds of this one. Iowa State looks to be the first lower seed to win, the first road team to win in this tournament. Shot clock is off. Iowa State has the basketball back, and they can pretty much just dribble this one out. The Cyclones will advance to play Duke in the next round, as that is a layup by the Cyclones. They will go up 74-63. Long pass. Final seconds for the Tide. Can they get one more shot to drop? The 3. Good. Nice shot there by Alabama as they try to at least keep it at single digits. Long 3. No good. 74-66, Cyclones on top. That is the final score. Keyshawn Gilbert, your MVP. 25 points. He was 12 for 12 from the floor. That's pretty impressive. He had 5 rebounds and 2 assists. The Cyclones move on. They will play Duke in the Elite 8. I'm realizing now how many SEC teams are at the top, as we are now seeing our 4th SEC team as we head over to the left side of the bracket for the 5-12 matchup. That will see the Florida Gators from the SEC taking on the Wisconsin Badgers from the Big Ten. Of course, Florida was a number 1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament, or was a number 1 seed, I should say, in the NCAA tournament. But because of how the college football playoff works and putting the conference champions as the top 4 seeds, because they didn't win the SEC, they are the 5th seed, so the highest non-conference champion in this tournament. So that is why they are the 5 seed here. Will we see another SEC team in the Elite Eight? We already have one with Tennessee, and of course we have Auburn there as well. So we've got 2 already. Will we see a third? Let's hop in. Well, if you thought the college football playoff first round games were kind of boring, this has kind of been the same way here in the college basketball playoff, as it's a long 2 for Florida as they go back up by 11. The Gators are up 62-51 on Wisconsin here as we approach 90 seconds to play. Can the Badgers make a little bit of a run here? Does not look like it after they missed their shot and Florida goes right down the court and lays one in. Can the Gators add to their lead? Ooh, long 3 and good! 69-51 in the face of the Wisconsin defender too. Alex Condon, your MVP, 12 points, 9 rebounds, 4 blocks, an absolute menace on the court in this one as the Gators advance 69-51 over Wisconsin in the 5-12 matchup. They will play St. John's in the Elite Eight. The final first-round matchup here in the college basketball playoff sees the Big Ten champion Michigan State Spartans facing off against the Texas Tech Red Raiders from the Big 12. Hopefully, this will be the best game so far, and we can kind of get some momentum going into the Elite Eight. Shot clock is now off. Lead is exactly at 20 points. Will Texas Tech just dribble this one out, or will they still... No, they smell blood in the water. I was like, I don't think this one's going to technically be over. The alley-oop slam, the exclamation point. Final score, Texas Tech 82, Michigan State 62, as the Red Raiders emphatically go in to the Breslin Center and absolutely dismantle Michigan State, the Big Ten champs. So down goes Wisconsin, down goes Michigan State. The Big Ten is out of this tournament. The Big 12 is still alive as we have 2 Big 12 teams now in the Elite Eight with Texas Tech and Houston. JT Toppin is your player of the game. 21 points, 4 rebounds, 3 blocks. So here is what the Elite Eight looks like in the college basketball playoff. You have number 1 Auburn versus number 9 Texas Tech. You've got number 4 St. John's versus number 5 Florida. You've got number 3 Houston versus number 6 Tennessee, and number 2 Duke versus number 10 Iowa State. So a couple of upsets with the 9 and 10 seeds moving on, then a couple of chalk wins with the 5 and 6 teams moving on. But so far, no intense finishes so far. So that's what I'm hoping to see here in the Elite Eight. So let's hop in with our first matchup. And for our first matchup of the Elite Eight, we will see the Duke Blue Devils, the ACC champions, take on the Iowa State Cyclones. Can the Cyclones keep their magic going and move on to the Final Four, or will Duke punch their ticket to the next round? Let's find out. Well, to say the Big 12 is making a statement would be an understatement, as the Iowa State Cyclones are absolutely just clapping Duke right now, 77-47. Not only are they getting blown out, but they're getting blown out at Coach K Court, like Cameron Indoor. Like, this is just a baffling performance by the Blue Devils. Although that was a nice dunk. 81-49 here, final 30 plus seconds. 3-ball is no good for Duke. They do get the rebound. They put it back. Slam dunk is good. And a timeout for Iowa State. They need to really regroup here after the lead was cut once again to 30 points. That will do it as the Iowa State Cyclones absolutely just dump truck Duke. 81-53 is your final. Keyshawn Gilbert, your player of the game, 21 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. A great game from him. And the Iowa State Cyclones are moving on to the Final Four. Next up in the Elite Eight, we have the 6th-seeded Tennessee Volunteers. They will travel to Houston to take on the Cougars, who are the 3 seed in this tournament. We've already seen one team with a bye go down. That was Duke. Will we see another one in Houston, or will the Cougars advance to the Final Four to take on a fellow Big 12 team? Well, let's not wait any longer. Let's hop right on in and figure it out. Just under 2 minutes to play here in Houston. You don't really have working titles for YouTube videos, but if there was one for this one, it would be March Madness, but everything's a blowout, because that's what it's been so far. I guess, really, this one's not necessarily a blowout. It's not 20 points. It's not 30 points, anything like that. But Houston has a 15-point lead on Tennessee with 126 to play, 125 to play. It's 75-60 Cougars. As we get down to the nitty-gritty in this one, as it looks like it will be a Big 12 matchup on the right side of the Final Four. 3-ball is good. Beautiful shot there from Houston. Let's see some defense. I'm like rooting for like big round numbers in these blowout wins. There we go. We've got a chance. Since we haven't seen a close game, like that's what I'm rooting for right now. Like, let's make it a 20-point win for the Cougars. The shot, ooh, nice. I thought that was destined to go off the side of the backboard, but nevertheless, it is now an 80-60 lead for Houston. Thought about the shot. Did Tennessee, ooh, bad miss, air ball there. And Houston is gonna get the 20-point, ooh, that was just bad. 4, 3, 2, 1. The shot blocked. The half-court shot is good! Oh my gosh! The half-court shot at the buzzer is good! But it means absolutely nothing. Because instead of being a 20-point win for Houston, it's a 17-point win. If you were betting on this, fake, Hoopland basketball game, and you had the spread at a certain number, then maybe you'd be into the final score here. But Houston advances to the Final Four. They will take on Iowa State. They get the 80-63 win over Tennessee. Juwan Roberts is your player of the game. He had 14 points, 11 rebounds, the double-double. He also added 5 blocks, so an absolutely insane game for him, powering the Cougars to the Final Four. They will take on Iowa State. So now that we have the right side figured out, let's go on over to the left side of the bracket. The last time we saw Texas Tech, they were absolutely taking it to Michigan State as they got an emphatic win over the Big Ten champs. Can they take down another conference champion in Auburn? Auburn is the #1 overall seed. We'll see if they can advance to the Final Four, but more Big 12 SEC challenge action coming at you as it's Texas Tech and Auburn. Let's hop in. I'm going to come right out and jinx Texas Tech now. I think they might win the whole thing. Right now, they lead Auburn 65-49 with 1:43 left. That shot is no good. Auburn trying to get something going here late, but I don't think it's going to happen for them as they will be the second top seed to fall at the hands of Texas Tech, although that was a pretty nice dunk there. Shot clock is off. Auburn wants to at least get one last good possession here. They're going to miss a three, so not exactly what they had in mind. Texas Tech will now be the third team from the Big 12 in the Final Four, as the conference is being represented quite well in the college basketball playoff. The lay-in is good for Auburn with just a half a tick left, and that will do it. Texas Tech goes into Auburn and wins 71-53. Just a dominating effort for the Red Raiders. JT Toppin, your MVP, 21 points, 4 rebounds. A great effort from him as the Texas Tech Red Raiders advance to the Final Four. Texas Tech will now be the third team from the Big 12 as they join Houston and Iowa State in the Final Four. The conference is just owning the college basketball playoff so far. We will not see a fourth Big 12 team, however, in the Final Four because Florida is from the SEC and St. John's is from the Big East. So we won't see 4 for 4 as far as the Big 12 is concerned. But who will advance between these two teams? I'm kind of rooting for St. John's because of the fact that I kind of wanted them to make a deep NCAA tournament run. That didn't happen, so I'm kind of hoping they can at least make the Final Four here. But also, Florida is pretty insane. They've been great in the actual NCAA tournament. They had a great win in the first round over Wisconsin in this tournament, and it's going to be a fun game to watch between them and Texas Tech. So I think this one's going to be a fun one. Let's hop in and see who advances. Well, can you believe it? We have a game that is not a blowout. With 2.5 minutes to play, Florida and St. John's are tied at 55, and a slam dunk from Florida as the Gators take the lead. Finally, a barn burner here in this tournament. The three, no good. The putback is also no good, but then the slam ties this game back up. Just under 90 seconds to play, 4-point lead for St. John's. Florida trying to make something happen here. The three is good from the Gators. They trim the lead to 1. A long three. The three is good from Florida. They take a 2-point lead. All the way from Gainesville. 35 seconds left. St. John's now looking to tie this game back up. The shot is blocked, and a foul committed by St. John's as Florida got the ball back. We're going to start seeing a lot of fouls here as Florida will go to the line. First free throw, no good. Second free throw is good. Final Elite Eight game coming down to the wire. The ball gets free. Taking it back is Florida. Now they'll go back to the line. Florida not shooting well from the free throw line right now, but if he can hit one more, they'll go up by 4 with 19 seconds left, and that from Sam Alexis is a big-time free throw. 16 seconds left. St. John's needs a bucket in the worst way. The three ball is no good. Rebounded by Florida. Will get a foul, and that might just do it. First free throw, no good. Florida can't buy a free throw right now. To go up by 5, and it's good. Pass inside, gets away. Bad shot. It's blocked. Last touch by Florida, so St. John's needs a quick three. Something. They missed the shot. Rebounded by Florida. They'll go to the line. And the Gators look like they're moving on. Free throw is good. 6-point lead for the Gators with 3 seconds left. Three ball from St. John's at the buzzer is good, but it's not going to be enough. Too little, too late from the Red Storm. And the Florida Gators survive. They advance to the Final Four. They will take on the Texas Tech Red Raiders. A great game here. Finally, we get a close game, and it was a lot of fun. Florida wins 71-68 over St. John's. Kind of wanted the Johnnies to advance. 16 points from Walter Clayton Jr., 3 rebounds, 6 assists. He is your player of the game, as now our Final Four is set. This is how the Final Four looks for the college basketball playoff, as we have on the left side of the bracket the 5-seed Florida Gators taking on the Texas Tech Red Raiders. On the right side of the bracket, we have the number 3 Houston Cougars taking on the 10th-seeded Iowa State Cyclones. 3 Big 12 teams, as you can notice, although I am glad that we saw a close game between St. John's and Florida. We finally got one after a lot of blowouts so far in this tournament. So who will compete for the national championship? Well, let's find out. The first game up, Iowa State versus Houston. Just under 2.5 minutes to play, and we've got a close one between Houston and Iowa State, as Houston lays that one in to go back up by 1, 58-57. Here's the lay-in. No good, but a slam on the putback from the Cougars. They're back up by 1. 20 seconds left. Shot clock is off. The 3 from Iowa State, no good. Rebounded by Houston, and the foul committed by Iowa State. We're going to start seeing a bunch of fouls here as Houston now will go to the line. Free throw is good. Houston with the 3-point lead. Iowa State, 10 seconds left. They need a 3-ball to tie. They're going to kind of just keep passing it here. You got to get a shot off. 2 seconds, 1 second at the buzzer. No good. And Houston will advance. The 3 at the buzzer was off the mark. And the Houston Cougars advance to the national championship game with the 64-61 win over Big 12 foe Iowa State. Joseph Tugler, the center, with the player of the game honors. 12.6 rebounds, 3 steals, 2 blocks is his stat line. A great win for Houston as the 3 seed moves on to the national championship game. One side of the national championship here in the college basketball playoff has been decided as Houston advances. Who will they face? Will it be Florida from the SEC, or will we see an all Big 12 matchup in the Natty? Let's find out, as next up we've got Florida versus Texas Tech. .225 to play here between Florida and Texas Tech. 63-61, the lead for Florida. Although they do have the ball, and they're going to slam that one home. 65-61 now, the Florida lead. I knew that by saying Texas Tech was likely going to win the whole thing, that would probably jinx them. But here's hoping they can at least get back into it here. The 3 is good. Downtown. That was from way downtown. Will it be an all Big 12 natty? Here's the shot, up and good. It's a 3-point lead now for Texas Tech. 30 seconds left. Alexis, the shot is good. Sam Alexis knocks it down, and they're going to start fouling now. Here comes the Red Raiders from the line, and that one's no good. Second free throw attempt is also no good. That's when that strategy works. It doesn't feel like it happens very often, but here comes Florida. 17 seconds left. Good defense from Texas Tech. It goes out of bounds, and Florida will retain possession. And Texas Tech gets the inbound, and they're going to get fouled. So another chance here. Oh my gosh, they missed another free throw. That's the 3rd missed free throw. Okay, come on. Knock at least one of these down. They do. Okay, so at least they can't get beat by a regular field goal. It has to be a three-point shot. Florida drives right down and ties it. What a drive from Walter Clayton. Here's Texas Tech. They've got 7. They've got 6. Come on, last second buzzer beater. Let's get it. Oh, no! Here's the shot from Florida at the buzzer. No! And we've got overtime. It's been an absolute disastrous extra stanza for Texas Tech. The shot is good, and the Gators are up by 8. The Red Raiders need something to spark them in the worst way here. An absolute meltdown here. The shot is good. Finally, points for the Red Raiders here in overtime. The shot up and good. We're going to start seeing Texas Tech foul here. We're going to start seeing fouls from Texas Tech. 20 seconds left. Or is Texas Tech just kind of going to go quietly into that good night? It looks like that's what their plan is, as the lay-in is good for the Gators. And the Florida Gators, in overtime, beat Texas Tech 84-78. They advance to the Natty to take on Houston. Walter Clayton, your MVP, 20 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. The Gators, like I said, it looked like it was going to be all over for them. Texas Tech was in control there in the final few minutes. Florida hangs on, forces the overtime, and then from there, it was all Gators. 13-7 in that extra period for Florida. And the Gators move on, so we are going to have Houston versus Florida for the national championship. We have reached the Natty in the college basketball playoffs, and we will see the 5th seed Florida Gators take on the 3 seed Houston Cougars. Out of 3 Big 12 teams that made the Final Four, thought we might see an all Big 12 national championship, but Florida absolutely has been pristine through this tournament so far. They had the big win over Wisconsin. They had the epic wins pulling it out against St. John's and Texas Tech. Now they've got a shot to win the Natty. Standing in their way is Houston, who beat Tennessee and Iowa State to get here. So let's not wait any longer. Let's hop in. The national championship is coming up right now. Final 2.5 minutes between Florida and Houston, and after all those epic finishes that we saw, it looks like we're going to end this one on a blowout, or at least a not very close game, as the Gators lead 59-47 over Houston. Goaltending violation there gives Florida now the 14-point advantage, as the Gators, look, they've been pretty tough all tournament. I mean, the big win over Wisconsin to start things off. Then, of course, you know, the close wins over Texas Tech and St. John's. And now it all finishes up with an emphatic win over the Houston Cougars. Although the Cougars were good too. The wins over Tennessee and Iowa State, as that was a heck of a slam there from the Florida Gators. 63-49 our score as we head into the final 2 minutes of this one. From 3. Houston said, corner 3.
Corner 3!
Houston trying to get a rally started. Another corner 3, and it's good! Here come the Cougars.
Corner 3!
Final 42 seconds in this one. Florida leads 65-57. 3 ball is good! And that's the exclamation point for the Gators. 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, 1. Final shot for Houston is no good at the buzzer, and the Florida Gators are your national champions in the college basketball playoff. They win 72-57, a dominating effort. Will Richard, your MVP, 24.7 rebounds, 3 blocks, a great tournament from the Florida Gators, and they come out as your national champion. So there you have it. The Florida Gators are your national champions here in the college basketball playoff. A great run as they have the blowout win over Wisconsin, the late survivals against St. John's and Texas Tech, and then, of course, the big win over Houston to clinch the national championship. A great run from the Gators and a great tournament. I mean, I know we started off with some duds early on, but we finally got some fun competitive games late, which is what I was kind of expecting to see, even if we got some duds early. Of course, as the talent gap got smaller and smaller, the teams, kept winning and winning, we were going to get some good games, and we did. We saw some really fun games, really exciting games, and Florida comes out on top as the dust settles. So what a great tournament. Thank you guys all for hanging out. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you leave it a like, subscribe to become one of the Burger Bros, and I will see you guys on the flip side. Peace out.